All right, now we got to get to the Colorado Avalanche, man. Nuggets get it done on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm like, oh, man, this is just gravy right now. The Rockies are beating the Dodgers. The Nuggets are up 1-0. The Avs are about to beat up on the Kings, who are just inferior. And then I was waiting some more for that to actually happen. It does ultimately happen, thanks to Arturi Lehkonen getting the first goal of the game. And then Logan O'Connor would not be denied because he did get the first one. But goalie interference was called on Jack Drury because Drew Doughty hip-checked him into Forsberg.
Yeah.
And to TNT, Forsberg couldn't technically play his position because Jack Drury was all up in his space. Why was Jack Drury all up in his space? We've talked about it 100 times, I feel like, on this show, this season alone. I hate goalie interference. Goalie interference, pass interference in the NFL. No one knows. It's just, you're a referee today, Cecil, you judge it. I'm the referee the next day, I'll judge it. Alex gets a day on Wednesday, he'll judge it, and it'll all be completely different. Now, no harm, no foul, because they are still up 1-0 with the victory that they got yesterday. But it's just so infuriating. Every time there's a dude in the crease, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Well, and the thing is with Drury is he wasn't flopping.
He got hit.
He wasn't flopping. Now, you can get hit and flop. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
But he was not flopping. He was falling backwards trying to catch himself.
And he's putting his skate back to try to stop his momentum.
They waved it off immediately. It was never counted as a goal. So nothing was ever really taken away. The Avs challenge it, and I'm okay with that challenge because of the nature. Now, it's frustrating, like you said. Nobody knows what goalie interference is. But to go ahead and flip that coin, I think Coach Bednar, it was okay that he did that. I didn't take any issue that he challenged that call to see if they could get him to overturn it and actually call it a goal. And by the way, LOC, I got to get me an LOC jersey. I got to get an LOC sweater. He's one of my favorites out there, and he got one later on anyway.
Yeah, he did.
Pretty sweet move, putting it up in the top, like over the shoulder, waiting for Forsberg to make his move, and then he just flipped it up over the shoulder.
The LOC one is like, all right, you're going to take this one away?
Yeah.
You can't take this, wins the skate race to the puck.
Yes.
And then beats the Kings defender to the net. It was Cody Cecil. And then, of course, as you're mentioning, beats Forsberg top shelf where Grandpa keeps the good stuff.
Yeah.
It was literally like, oh, you took that one away? Can't take this one away.
Yeah, can't take this one away. So that was at least good to see. And it was good to see this team fight back with such lackluster things going on during this game. They were taking plenty of shots. How many times they hit the post? You know, you heard that thing ringing quite a bit of time. So if those go in instead of hitting the post, maybe this is like a 5-1 game instead of the 2-1 game. So, all right, a bit of forgiveness there. It is the postseason. Things are a little bit tougher, but I thought the Avs stood up to the physicality that the Kings brought, especially there at the very end.
They were trying to goon it up a bit.
They had to make it tight, though. That was the thing. Like, wrap it up, good to go. Couple minutes left in the third. Like, wait, oh, God, are they going to come back? So it was a frustrating game because it was kind of slow. It was, a little bit more aggressive in certain spots, but this game turned out the way you wanted it to. So can we praise the Avs for getting the win even though they didn't play their best? Of course we can.
Yeah.
It's the postseason. We're going to not necessarily take whatever we can get, but we're going to go, okay, you didn't play your best hockey. You know what you can do. Now just get back to doing those things.
And look, some of the take whatever you can get, I will do that. Certainly in the second, third, and then the Stanley Cup final if they're ultimately in there. With the Kings, you want them to be a little bit better. I don't know. I was trying to determine, having an internal debate the other day, or yesterday watching the game, if, are they playing with their food? Or is this just an intense, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's round one, game one. Of course, it's at your barn, and everyone knows you're the better team. But it was almost like for the first, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, hey, all right, just don't make a major mistake because we know if the Kings get that 1-0 lead, how different this game's going to look based on their pace of play. So to me, it's all right, I don't really look at it as playing with their food. It's just a boxer protecting themselves until they know there's a knockout opportunity.
Right. And that's what the Avs did. So you look at it and you go, okay, puck management, the biggest red flag for this, repeated turnovers, slow decisions, poor exits. They gave LA more offense than they should have ever generated. And my buddy Mark texted me during the game. He's like, man, if Mackenzie Blackwood was in net, we didn't even start there.
No, he didn't get the start.
Mark texted me, he said, if Blackwood was in net, they'd be down 3-1 already.
Yeah.
There were a lot of chances that LA got just based off of Colorado errors. So Scott Wedgwood in net. I'm glad that Coach Bednar made that decision. I know the TNT broadcast is like, this is no surprise based on the way they were playing. Okay, I agree with them. You and I both wanted Wedgwood in net, and we thought it would be Mackenzie Blackwood just because, Coach Bednar genuflecting to the should-be starter. But no, it was Wedgwood, and Wedgwood saved their bacon the way that they were playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're surprised because, again, we always tell you guys this, but national reporters aren't plugged in to what's happening locally. They just read their producer notes. So I was okay with the way the game went. Like I said, a little uneasy. Really, it was for the first period. I'm like, why does it look like this? Why aren't the Avalanche dominating? And then you go, all right, I understand. They give up the one goal. This thing completely changes, and they didn't. So you credit them for what they were doing. I see this text already from Big Perm. I'm with you, Big Perm. He says, I was at the game yesterday. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Kempe is a PAB. Yes, he is. Dude literally took a cheap shot at the back of Makar's head, Bertuzzi style, and the refs totally missed it, didn't call it. Just glad Makar is okay.
Right.
Well, then you see Gabe come in. Gabe saw it, Big
Gabe
Perm.
did see it, yes.
And they're just two ships passing in the night, and Gabe goes, well, let me get over there a little bit closer in his kitchen a little bit and say,
yes.
That's what it is. Gabe, guys like Josh Manson, Nas isn't afraid to throw if he has to throw.
Yeah.
LA can try to goon this up and out-physical the Colorado Avalanche, but those three dudes that I just listed will not allow that to happen.
Yeah, they won't allow that to happen, and Nas had to be so excited because this was his first playoff game since
the last time he was with the Avalanche.
Exactly. So when it's taken away from you, when you go away and you come back and you're able to play in the postseason, I'm sure that Nazem Kadri was very appreciative of that.
Yes, had to be. Absolutely had to be. And you just get a little bit more juice out of a guy that goes, this is what I've been missing. This is why I wanted to come back.
Yes.
We got tribe roll call from JD. Our playoffs are off to a great start. That's absolutely the truth. We're fired up for it. Mike and Littleton, one of our A1s from day ones. Let's go Tribe. Some great Denver sports this weekend. Continuing on tonight with the bourbon and a stick for the Nugs game 2. Also, why do they got to do the Avs and Nugs on the same nights coming up on Thursday he's talking about? Do the leagues hate us or what? Oh, and Thursday's his B-Day. So he's going to have to hit a sports bar to watch both. Happy Monday, fellas. Mike, happy early birthday to you. And look, I don't think it's that bad of a situation if Mike has to go to a sports bar on Thursday night to watch 2 games on his birthday and then call in sick on Friday. Pretty good setup.
I like it. Jeremy says on YouTube, double parade loading, fellas.
Ooh, nice.
Vamos los Nugs and Avs. Morgan County, stand up.
Nice.
And then my buddy Jason, who is the pot stoner degenerate up there in Greeley.
What's up, Jason?
He says, is Danzig Cecil dipping Skull or Grizzly with that outfit? I told him Levi Garrett.
Okay, nice. You've dipped before, I'm imagining.
Yeah, I dipped for 2 weeks in college. I remember my dad came to pick me up to take me somewhere or whatever, and I was dipping Levi Garrett in front of him. He looks at me and goes, what are you doing? So stupid.
I don't even know what Levi Garrett is. It's just another
form. It's the
form.
long leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really good. I don't promote chewing.
Like Red Man, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really good taste. It's the long leafy stuff. I didn't like the powder. I didn't like the Copenhagen or the Skull Bandits for the girls. Mm-hmm. But so for me, it was Levi Garrett. Yeah. But only for about 2 weeks. And then my dad shamed me into not chewing.
Never doing it. I was never a dip guy. My wrestling friends always dipped to cut weight.
Yeah.
I was ripping heaters out at Stoner Circle at Northglenn
High Cowgirls at El Trip dipped. So if you wanted to make out with them, you better,
hey, take
better
that
be
out.
okay with it.
Take that out, girl. I'm coming in for a kiss. That's disgusting. But teach their own. I do probably gross stuff to other people's minds as well. All right. That's the Nuggets game 1. A little recap. We're certainly going to get back to that. We'll hear from some coaches and players in hour number 2. We did mention that it's draft week. Playoffs for the Nuggets and Avs and draft week for the Denver Broncos. So with that in mind, we're going to dive into our top 5 players the Broncos should add this weekend, and we're going to start with 5. So, Cecil, let's go 5 through 1 so we get to our favorite. It's coming up on Friday when they're on the clock. Our names are coming up next.